Good morning. So today's, I feel like, is a better day. Okay. Let it be where it wants to be. So today I'm feeling like it's a little bit of a better day. I got up this morning. I still have that just like this massive pain in the pit of my stomach. Massive pain. But the more I roll it around in my mind and the more I process it, the more I go through it, the more I realize there's just nothing for me to do about it. You know, it's not something that's in my control. And the more I process it and go over it and think about it and compare it, let's say compare it to friendships that I've had that I don't want a romantic relationship with. And anyway, I don't want to control anybody. I don't want to try to make somebody feel what they're not feeling. And it's out of my control anyway. So what is the use of all of this chasing energy and all of the, chasing somebody is completely forget about unattractive. I mean, think about the word unattractive. Attractive is to attract something to you. Chasing is complete opposite of attraction. Think about it. It's like a pushing energy and not a pulling energy. And I was thinking, like, to myself that the best thing that I can do for myself is to not give power to it anymore. Just to try not to give power to it. Like, I'm all worried about now. Like on Friday, right? So last Friday, I didn't go to the Roy, and a friend of mine that came from the States, he comes like twice a year, something like that. It's not a romantic friendship or anything like that. I don't have any other romantic friendships, just so you know. But he's happily married, and he's older than I am. He has businesses in the States. He lives somewhere, I think in New York, somewhere maybe near Manhattan or something. Thank you for the coffee. And so last week he wanted to meet with me, and I told him that we were doing that. We were doing the meal that I had plans for the new year, so we didn't meet. I told him I would meet him this week, so we have set up a time at 4 o'clock on Friday to meet, right? And now I'm all like, first of all, it feels like that last week was on Friday. Now it's Wednesday. It feels like last Friday was eons ago. It feels like it was like decades ago. It doesn't feel like it was just now. And I'm thinking about going on Friday, and I'm like kind of worried about it because like I don't know if I don't want to call him my twin. I don't want to call him that. I don't know what else to call him, but I don't want to call him that. But I don't know if he's going to be there. And I'm starting to think to myself, why am I even concerning myself? Why am I not just living my life? Why does he have to have any kind of power over anything that I do? Like, why? Why does that have to be? Why am I worried about it? Like, what will be anyway. I just want, like, I want to live my life without those kinds of thoughts in my mind. If he's there, he's there. If he's not, he's not. And without thinking about it. You know, there's plenty of other friends that I have that will either be there or not be there. And there's no concern of mine. You know, I just make my own plans. And I feel like I'm giving over my power. And not only am I giving over my power, I'm giving over my power in a place that doesn't want it. That it doesn't serve me to give over my power in any place, but giving my power over to somebody that not only doesn't want it, really doesn't want it, like is pushing it away. And I'm thinking that the best thing that I can do for me, the thoughts that I'm having this morning, first of all, I'm having a lot of empowering thoughts this morning. I'm going in between, blinking in between those dimensions that I was talking about in the video that I did last night. I'm blinking in between like this total freedom, let loose, uh, attractive energy, which is like the energy of coming into my full power and realizing the strength of the being that I am, coming into my individual, unique, total power as a human being. And in between that weak place, see, now when I talk about the total power in the place that I am, I can't even connect to that weak place of giving over my power. I'm standing in my full power. But I keep on flipping back and forth, like this morning when I woke up with that, like this, either call it like a gaping hole or you call it like a ball in pit of my stomach, just this ball of pain. And I want that to disappear. I want that to dissipate, to like just, I did my meditation and I got into it, but like halfway. I think I'm going to start listening to Wayne Dyer again. When I first, about 10 years ago, I listened to him a lot and he really helped me. Wayne Dyer he has a lot of videos on YouTube and he's really good, a really good spiritual leader. And what I was thinking this morning, and all of this is leading up to this one point. Let's hope that it comes out now. I have to get back and get my son off to school. It's already 7:30. His bus is at 8. I need to make him a salad. And what I was thinking this morning is that I need to quit obsessing over it. I need to quit thinking about it. I need to quit talking about it, about the twin flame thing. I need to just completely quit talking about it, quit giving it power, because every time I talk about it, even if I do feel the pain coming up, when I talk about it, I give it power and I intensify it and I make it stronger and it sits deeper in me as a deeper like knowing. And I'm thinking that maybe I should just try to talk about it less and talk about other things. Talk about other inspiring things. I have I have such a rich internal world. I could talk about all sorts of different things. So maybe I should take the power back and the focus back and try to, even if those are the only things that are coming up, and they're coming up, try to ignore them and just until they go away, not talk about them and give them more power and, oh, poor me, and oh, I miss him so much, and oh, why did I do that? And I brought this on myself. There's realizations that I'll have with it because the twin flame journey is all about that. It's about the spiritual awakening and using that mirror to do my own self-work. The pain in that, in order to go through the pain and really dissipate the pain and you have to come through the pain, and so you have to work through it. It has to come up and you have to have realizations. Otherwise, see, there's the paradox in it. Like, I could either put it out of my mind and not talk about it and forget about it and put my power in other places and then rise through my power being in other places, Or, see, there's the other side of it. The flip side of it is that I'm using that and going through that in order to do my self-work. And in order to do my self-work, then I have to go through it. I can't just hide from it. So there's the question, like, what do I do? I mean, I'm happy to get any kind of advice. And you know that I take what I want. But I'm happy to get any of your guys' thoughts on that. Like, is it easier just to put him out of my mind and completely, like, every time he comes up, and do my own work? Or is it easier, or do I need to go through all those thoughts and enhance them and empower them until I'm numb of them already and it makes me want to just like bleh every time I think of it? Like, I don't know. Last night we had contact again. He called me last night out of the blues. Like, I was sitting on the computer, I was working on my alcohol book. My daughter edited it and she read it. It was the first time, and she said that a lot of the things, most of the things she knew, but a lot of things she didn't remember. But it really gave her perspective on my side. She said that if she was reading the book, she would have wanted a little bit more gory details, but I'm not rewriting it. I don't even think at this point, after 10 years, that I would be able to put in any more gory details. A lot of the things that I have in there, I look at and I go, wow, I couldn't write that today. There's no way. I'm not close enough to the pot. But, I don't know. Like, I have both parts in me. Maybe it's all part of it. Maybe there's no control in it anyway. It's going to happen what's going to happen. Because this morning I woke up with like this ball in my stomach, in the pit of my stomach, just like this big ball of pain. And I kept on tossing and turning. When I woke up, it must have been what I've been thinking about all night, because I woke up tossing and turning about the pain. And like, how could it be that I'm just like, you know, I saw how he cut other people out of his life. And then I see that I'm in that same pool and there isn't any special treatment. I'm in that pool. And so it's like the finality of it all. And I have to process that and accept that. And then I also have these, poor me, I'm never going to love again. Wah, wah, wah. Which I'm not going to tell myself that story. I'm sure, just like I found him, I'm sure that I'm going to magnetize in whatever needs to come in. I'm going to be working on magnetizing, not chasing. I don't need to chase anything. What comes to me will come to me naturally. I need to get back and get my son off to school. So those are my thoughts this morning. As you can see, they're like half here, half there, 1 foot here, 1 foot there. I don't know. It all feels like it's all up in the air, and it's all not up in the air, more like it's all settling into something. I don't know what it's settling into yet. Look at this. There's a big, like, black veil here hanging over the, I don't know if you can see it, hanging over the olive tree and stuff. It's so symbolic, hanging over the, like, how did that get there? It must have had a big gust of wind that brought it. I'll show you. Oh, you can't really see the Sea of Galilee's down there. So a little bit. I'm having a hard time finding joy, and I really want to be joyful and bright and back in my energy. I think that I'm so miserable because I'm so far away from my natural way of being, which is usually very high and flying. So there's a mango still over here. I wonder if it's good. It's the mango tree. It's like there's, look, there's another mango up there, but there's a mango that fell from the tree. It looks pretty good. Yeah, it's good and solid. So, finding joy in the little things. So, have a good day. If there's anything else, I'm sure. I'm going through so much. It feels like I've gone through 10 years in this past week. Emotionally, just like all over the place. Okay. Thank you for watching. So I just got my son off to school and I'm getting the house put back together. I realized that I started saying something on the previous video about my twin calling me last night, and that I didn't tell the rest of it, so just not to leave it up in the air. He called me last night. These I had in like ice, these are like ice packs. I had the stuff from my fridge in them, but because my fridge went yesterday, so, but I took everything over to my parents. My landlord ordered me a new fridge. That was really nice of him. So he called me last night because of those I was telling on yesterday's videos that those boys that we met at the hot springs, I told them about the spring here yesterday, and then yesterday I had that chasing energy all day. And I went there twice during the day, and then so he called me last night to tell me that they were over there, that they couldn't find the way, and because it's just a few minutes from my house, if I could go over there and lead them. And so I did. So that was what that call was about, what I started to talk about. But that was it. And I just feel there's an element of disbelief, and the disbelief is counterproductive, because no matter what, I'm going to have to let go. Even if I disbelieve, it's still, I'm going to have to let go. I can't hold on. And all of the signs, everything that I think of logically, like in my emotion, I feel like we're so far connected that how could it be? How could it be? It just feels surreal to me. I feel like I can feel him telepathically. And how could it be? And then at the same time, I see other women that are also stuck on him, that I wonder if they feel the exact same way. Maybe this whole thing has just been some kind of imagination. Maybe I should really, like my mother says, quit giving power to this twin flame thing. As long as you believe in the twin flame, you're going to be stuck. So I keep on having like these doubts that come up in me, and then I know that it's true. I know that it's true, but what if it's not only me? But I know that it's true because when I met him, I remembered past lives. It was like, and I didn't even believe in past lives before that. But then I have the whole, this is so crazy, crazy talk. But then I have the whole Messiah thing going on too, which I do believe too. And the whole Messiah thing, it would mean that wouldn't he have that deep connection with like anybody that he met? So I feel so at the same time, like part of me feels like blessed to even be part of this, or even to be able to see it, or to, you know, how many people in their lives believe that they met the Messiah without, you know, and it's not only, you know, it's not like I was like programmed to believe in the Messiah. Like I always had like this offish thing about people that talk about the Messiah or whatever. I don't even know if it was like, I didn't believe, but also it was just like I was indifferent to it. It wasn't even part of my world. It was like, okay, whatever. That's like, let all those, you know, it was like watching a freak show almost. Oh, the floor is sticky. I'm going to have to wash the floors. At least that'll give me something to do. I'm going to get my alcohol book out. I think I need to make inventory to send. And I'm thinking, instead of sitting here and, I don't know. Like, it's like difficult to differentiate even what is the chasing energy and what isn't. Like, part of me says, well, just go and sit and take all of your work with you, because it's like pushy work. And I don't like being inside. So I can take all of my work and go sit at the spring and wrap up my inventory and do a day of it there. And then the other side of me says, well, why are you going there? Are you going there because there might be a chance on meeting your twin there? Or is it chasing energy? Or, see, I have these parts of me that are like double in me. It's like, what are my intentions? And then I have to go in deep and try to figure out, like, why am I folded my laundry yesterday. At least lots of stuff is getting done when I am like this. I folded that. I had a whole big, massive one couch just full of unfolded laundry that I did yesterday. Oh. He gave me back my necklace the other day, and he, like, fixed it for me and shined it up for me and made it nice, back nice, like new looking. I guess I'm just going to have to deal with everything as it comes, and it's going to take as long as it takes. And I'm thinking, like, trying to ignore it is just prolonging it. I don't know. Like, maybe if I ignore it, it'll just go away and become in the background. But I think that there's a certain amount of pain that is like an initiation. And you have to go through it. And you have to process it. And if you don't, then it's like closing it off on a little box and not processing it. And then it's like a Pandora's box that's always there behind everything, that's still leading the way. Because, you know, if you have something, if you take this pain and I close it off in a box and I'm not willing to open that box, then I'm still maneuvering my life around that box, right? Around the box not opening, right? So it's still giving over my power, even though I'm like ignoring it. It's just like what traumas do. The traumas that you don't want to relive or whatever, you close them off and you don't want to relive them. So your whole life is maneuvered around not having to open anything that has to do with that box. So I feel like maybe with this twin flame thing, that maybe I do have to push through it completely until I just get so sick of it. And I have processed through all of the pain to where it doesn't even hurt anymore. And that's how I overcome it. But the question is, if I just keep my focus on it and keep on blah, 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 or if I guess it's the flipping back and forth. I guess I'm going to have to do the both parts of it. Going to have to do the higher work of it, which is overcoming it and realizing that I'm my own self-being and being my own self-being, and do my self-work and going through the pain on the side. I think that the pain counters the self-work and the self-work counters the pain. So the pain comes up and it brings me into the self-work that I need to do in that place. And then as the pain goes down, new pain comes up, and then I have to process that, and then I get above that, and it keeps on rising and rising and rising. And I think that all of this big ball of pain, slowly it starts falling into littler pieces. And every time I process one piece, the big ball becomes just a little bit smaller, Or that there's certain, and then at the very core of the ball is like the big core of the pain. And it's like the more I'm able to go through the pain, like I'm able to process it a little bit at a time. Like this amount of pain, whatever comes up is just what I'm able to process. Otherwise it wouldn't come up. Otherwise I would just close it off and I wouldn't even see it, right? If I wasn't able to process it, it wouldn't be, right? And how do I do all this pain with building my life? I have to build another source of income. I have to. I have to, because I'm not making it just with what I have right now. And I know that my words have power in them, and that I need to change that perspective, because that's a really weak perspective. I don't have enough. I know that in all the areas that I just let go, things flow into their natural way of being. Oh, so tired of this. And then I come back to, the thoughts that I'm having are like, okay, well then I'll get over this, and then I will, and then we'll be able to, and then I'll be able to be with my twin flame. But that is not getting over it, right? Getting over it is releasing him completely. Releasing him completely. That is the part of the disbelief. It's like, okay, I'm doing this for this. But that's the part of the disbelief. I have to completely let him go. And the idea of him and I ever, the way that he said it is, we're never going to be together. Never. And that's something that regardless, I have to accept. Regardless if we're going to be together or not going to be together, it doesn't matter. I have to accept that we will never be together. And he never showed me anything different. We spent a lot of quality time together. We're really good together, but all of that can be interpreted as just good friends too. Good friends until I started getting the, like possessive. And then he's like, ugh, get out of here. Ugh. Which I would be too if I had a friend that started getting possessive. Maybe I wouldn't do it in the way that he did it, but I would also like take back, like you can't expand near somebody that wants to possess you. Oh. Well, at least when I do get over this, and I'm getting over it, and I feel like I'm getting over it fairly quickly, considering, right? All things considering, I feel like I'm going through this really fast. It feels like, it's been less than a week, and I feel like it's been forever ago. And all of the thoughts and all of the things that I'm going through, I can see the evolution in it. I can see how I'm processing it. And thank you for listening. This is really, like I've said a million times, this is really my self-therapy, where I put out all of my thoughts and I process everything, and it really helps me to process through everything and realize where I am. There's just so much freaking pain. I'm so sick of this. I'm just so sick of it. I'm just so sick of it. Like on one hand, I'll say, oh, this is a gift. There's Kat from Sacred Soul Rising. I was listening to her quite a bit in the last couple of days, because she really gets it. She really gets it. And she's connected to it. I don't know what her story, her personal story is, but she gets the twin flame journey. And she reminds me of things, like of not being in that energy. There's a different energy that I can connect to, but I keep on flipping back and forth. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to get busy on this day. So thank you for watching.